leather gloves, we're slapping in hams. Popcorn and peanuts, we're working the stands. Pink cotton candy, love on a stick. He's chasing the beer that circle the lips. Play ball, play ball. Roll up the bases and smack it right over the wall.
Play ball.
Play ball.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Laughter Saves Lives.
Live
Here at Strong Island TV in Paradise Studios. I'll do that nice and fluidly one day. Strong Island TV in Paradise Studios. We have a great show for you tonight.
What do we got?
We have 3 callers. We got funny headliner Tom DiDario calling in. We have a wonderful couple from the military base where we were in Ohio, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Phenomenal trip. I'm going to try not to talk about it too much because I'm still on a high from the trip, and these guys weren't there. So I feel bad. Steve Oliva was there, and he didn't even want to come in tonight.
I said something about the trip.
Listen, next time, get us a little bigger water.
You got it.
Not
Right.
big enough.
And then Chief Andy Hefner from the Lima Fire Department. We basically went out there initially to raise some money for a 9/11 memorial. I taught out there. I saw they were building a memorial. I went to the chief or the captain, and that's how the thing got started.
Where are they putting the memorial?
They're putting the memorial. This is really cool. They're putting it. It's outside this firehouse, but it's not really firehouse property. It's city property. So the whole idea of it is it's going to be a very interactive memorial where kids can go up. What are those bars called on the phone where you scan and you read stuff?
Barcode.
The barcodes. The scan
Is that what they
codes.
call them?
The barcodes, yeah.
So the kids will be able to go up and scan something, and it'll give them history of 9/11 day. There's going to be stars for each person lost. So they'll be able to do. It's a really cool interactive place. They need a lot of money to build it.
How much is it going to cost? You know.
I think, if I'm remembering the right total, did I hear $80,000 or something like that? And
Doesn't even seem that much.
well, it's a small
Well,
town.
it's a lot
Yeah,
more to have it.
No, I'm saying like for all that, it doesn't seem like that's a lot of money.
Yeah, but it's a lot for them.
I mean, it's a lot for them, but like I thought it would be more.
Well, the chief is going to
That's
call
what I
in, Chief Andy Hefner. He's actually coming to New York in a few months, and we'll probably entertain him in some way. I don't know if we can get him on the show, him and his wife. So it was a great trip. And I don't want to, I'm going to talk more about it, but
I heard there was a little, you had to take 4 airplanes to get down there.
yeah, that was interesting.
What do you mean 4
Was
airplanes?
it the
We-
one-way Feldman flight here? Or
The flight was delayed from LaGuardia, so I went up to the guy. They took us off the plane. You know who we met? Do you remember at the gala we wanted to book the Bombshell Girls? I don't know if you remember this. At Chicago, way right. My wife and my kids sang, but these girls were too expensive. They were on the same flight. I sent you pictures.
Yeah, I said, who the hell are the bombshell girls?
Well, that's who they were.
That's who they were?
Yeah.
I thought
I
those
had
were
no
people you
idea.
randomly met.
No, they were the Bombshell
You
Girls.
you mean-
bombshell girls, and nothing came up with about them, so I said,
Oh,
there
really?
must be- yeah, there must be no.
No, they're very good. And so we got bounced, and they got bounced. And I went up to the guy and I
What do you
said,
got bounced? What happened?
well, we get bounced. The flight was delayed 2 hours.
Okay.
So
You deplaned.
we deplaned. We went to the desk, and the guy said, "You're not going to make your connection." He goes, "Because we were going to Toledo from North Carolina. We got you on the 106 instead of 11:45. You went like this. Got you on,
Wait,
got
you
on the
went to
106.
North Carolina
Correct.
to connect to Ohio?
Toledo. Correct.
Who'd you fly?
We flew American.
I heard you went from North Carolina to Chicago, then to Ohio.
Well, that was the rest of the story, so I don't have to finish it.
Why
All
don't-
right, what else you want to talk about?
We don't want to bore
Right.
the audience, so we just
I
want to
thought
get
you
right
usually
Well, no,
fly.
here was the funny part. He said you're on the 106. So we get off the plane, I go, 106, Chicago, not Toledo. He never told me we were going to Chicago and then to Toledo. So I said, when's the next flight to Toledo? He goes, 8:05. You're going to get in at 10:30. Now we had somebody picking us up. So I looked at Ike and Mike, right? I looked at Tom and Steve. And by the way, Steve was always disappearing. Like, you know, go Steve, and you'd go,
was he making friends like I do?
no, he was just, he would disappear.
Maybe he was pissed off. He didn't know how to take 4
So
airplanes.
anyway, that's what happened. We got the
Can I
link.
make a suggestion? You fly Delta a lot, right?
Yes.
You could have flown Delta into a hub in Ohio, Cincinnati, I believe. And then worst case, if you missed your connection, you could have driven.
We live and learn. Next time
That's
we'll
why
fly
you
into
said, though,
Cleveland.
That's why.
He's a pilot.
That's why the
That's why
words
you need
would have
Right.
and could have are
See,
great.
people think that the connection doesn't matter. I flew into, I had to go to Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I flew in through Chicago because if I missed my connection in Chicago, and I nearly did because of a delay at LaGuardia,
you could drive.
It's a 3-hour drive.
Well,
my
that's-
friend connected through Ohio, and guess what? Her plane got delayed. She didn't get there until the
Well,
next day.
that's what
'Cause she
the
was
shoulda,
too far.
woulda, like you said.
You
People
always
say,
look at strategically where the
all right, in the
connections are.
future, in fact, they
John's
want us.
not that intelligent, so you can't.
Right.
They want us back
And Steve,
out there.
He's not Einstein either. And Dario, what can you say?
Right.
Well,
No, but
I
John
booked the
travels more than
flights.
I do now, so I would think
I
you'd be
booked the
like
flights.
very-
They had like the Three Stooges.
Oh, you
I
booked the
think.
flights?
I booked the flights through my travel. It was the cheapest way. I was
It was
trying
worse
to.
than the Wright brothers' first flight.
I was trying to save money. So we did that. Now,
Paid $25.
let me just show you this one picture. Show that first picture there. This is me and the commander of the base. If you guys could show that first picture that you got on the preview screen. This is me with the commander of the base. 30,000 people are on this base. The commander was at the officers' lounge. He didn't come to the show, but I met him.
Officers Club. It's called the Officers Club.
The officers' club. And I gave him one of the memorial shirts from my firehouse. I immediately sent this picture to some of the widows, if I could still call them that, and the children of guys that were lost on 9/11. And, I had such a great response. Thank you, John. Whatever. It was just really nice.
Was he a full colonel? Bird colonel?
He was a full colonel. A full colonel. The next picture is the other colonel, Colonel Rose. Okay, Colonel Rose. And there's the rest of us. And the two people in the blue, they were actually the other guy. They were the staff that helped us on the base.
Is Aliva in camouflage?
Aliva was in camouflage. We had to find them for this picture.
Almost, yeah.
Show the next picture. We might as well go through the whole thing. This is the theater in Lima.
Wow.
The logo. Butch sent them the logo. I couldn't find the logo, and Butch. I texted him, "Hey Butch, can you send this out there quick? Send it to them." Boom, they had it. Erin, who was the stage director, threw it up there before the show. It looked phenomenal. It really did. So we had a great time.
It's the biggest backdrop ever.
The biggest backdrop ever.
Nice.
We have Butch Seltzer on the phone. Butch, you there? Mm-hmm. We have a tight show, my brother. We have 3 callers calling in. What do you got?
Just wanted to say hi. About 15 seconds.
All right, hi.
Go ahead.
How are you, brother?
Hey guys, it's Butch. How are you?
Good, Steve.
Go ahead, Butch. What's on your mind?
Listen, we're 8 minutes into the show. Can you promote some of the shows coming up?
But your hair seems too tight. What is
Steve.
Yes, sir.
Give him the 1-minute version. How was the trip? What stood out on the trip?
Well, I saw the guys on the 4 plane rides we had going there,
Right.
and then I saw them in the airport coming home. I had a great time, though. Terrific.
Steve, let me tell you
Our
something.
hosts were great. Dan and Chris
Yes, they were
great
great.
hosts, and everyone was very nice, and it was terrific. And I think the best thing I liked about the trip is the fact that Frank, John, and Pat weren't there. But the main thing is we had a good time.
Do you realize that we had 4 flights? Because I've never seen anybody fall asleep so quickly on a plane.
Yeah, I have selective narcolepsy. It's my way of convincing or giving the guy next to me a hint not to talk to me.
You could have just told me.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
You never hurt my feelings, brother. Hey, listen, you represented Laughter Saves Lives well. You did a great job on and off the stage.
It's about time.
Thank you so much.
All right, and the guy to the right of you
Yes.
looks like he needs an enema. Thanks very much.
All right. Good night, Stevie. Frankie, before you do your segment there, I was talking about this weekend and what a team we were
Yes.
this weekend. Patty G on Saturday, we're in the Northport show. It's our little show we do that's very special to me. Patty did a great job as always. Patty G. On Friday, you did the Martin Luther High School.
Martin Luther High School.
Maspeth,
Maspeth show, yeah.
Yes.
How'd that go?
That was an excellent show. Good crowd, good people. They had a great time.
How'd your son do?
He did well. He did well. He shocked him a little bit with his opening joke, but
What was the opening joke?
I don't want to tell
You
his
can't
joke.
say it?
No,
No,
I can.
come on.
I can. It's his joke. I'm not going to tell his joke. I mean, what am I, Art Schill here?
All right. All right. Well, apologize, Art. Apologize, Art.
Don't worry, let's not watch
No,
it.
Art,
It's
you mean-
bedtime.
Art, you know I'm just kidding, brother.
Your son is telling really old jokes?
Yeah. He did well. He hadn't performed in a while,
All right.
and he did well.
Well, it was a
Terrific.
pleasure having him on the
I've
show.
seen him at a couple open mics. He's doing fantastic.
Greenlawn, one of the best audiences in Long Island.
What a fun show.
And food, right?
We had a bowl. I didn't eat, but the food looked great. It was really a fun time. I had a cupcake. But
That's how you stay so trim.
Yeah. No, and I picked on they had a little pepperoni and
Oh, yeah.
some
Yeah,
peppers.
they do a
Yeah,
nice
yeah,
job.
Yeah, they do a real nice job. Eric Watermelon, great guy. Let us have his office as a green room. What can I say about Eric? He's a good man.
How did
All the guys in the firehouse.
yeah.
I mean, they treat
They do.
Right.
you like
Like you
king
belong
over
there.
They're real
and
nice
Santos
people.
showed up to eat and left.
Unannounced.
You
And then
You
No, he
broke
was
your own
announced.
rule.
And then the guy.
I didn't
in
go anywhere near
front,
the mic.
When I'm loading the equipment in,
yeah.
the guy goes, "All right, you can park over here because they had the cone set in.
Right.
You should just go up the side." So I'm going up 3 flights of stairs to bring the stuff up
Oh,
there.
with the elevator.
As soon as I get all the stuff in there, the guy goes, "You know, you could use the elevator." So wait, will you wait for me to have a freaking
Heart
heart attack? You're just training me to be a fireman?
So you had a good time.
Yeah, great time. Yeah, the audience was excellent. All the comics did terrific. Delacus,
I know, he
I mean,
destroys.
come on.
and
how do you-
Pontillo and Allegra, terrific. Everybody was great.
So Laughter Saves Lives did 5 shows this weekend
I made no money, but
Well, the mission of Laughter Saves Lives is to make money for others.
That's all right. That's all right. But no, I'm thinking if you didn't get paid, my son's
made money.
got some money in his pocket that I gotta go
I
talk.
made money. I'm very happy when I'm only.
Tom wants to know when he should call.
He
One
said,
of our
let
guests.
him know.
Tell Tom to call in 3 minutes. Frank wants to do a little segment
No,
here.
well, we can hold off on that.
Well, let's
I'm not going to open the show with this.
All right.
Tom's more exciting. anyway.
Yeah, we're not
all
gonna
right,
open
tell
the show
Tom
with
to
the-
call in now.
Tom, call in.
I'm gonna do a quick
We'll do a recap of our week. What do you want to do?
no,
Since you
I think
monopolized the whole
is there
segment?
is there anything else to talk? I wanted to talk about the shows. Is there anything else glaring that you wanted to bring up?
Well, we're going to Florida and. Next
Yeah,
week.
we'll talk about that when we throw up the flyers. Oh, they got the flyers up there. All right.
What
They're
do you
thinking
think
ahead of
they're
us.
queuing?
We're only
Thinking ahead
14
of
minutes
us.
into
Throw
the
it up.
show.
Throw
We
it
gotta
up.
promote.
Friday, April 13th. This is really
Friday, April 12th.
Friday, April 12th. I'm sorry. We are going to Florida.
No, it's the
I'm looking at the
13th.
next flyer.
That's the
That's
other
a private show.
Oh, I see.
No, wait a second. That's the first show. Semper Fi is the first show, Friday. We're going to Melbourne. I was on the phone today talking to a few people. It's going to be a great show. R.C. Smith is out there, and he's going to headline the show for us. Pat Marone, Johnny LaRocchia. Looks like they should put an X now through Steve Oliva. He's staying home. Stevie's not
you
going.
wore him out?
He'll be missed.
You
He
wore
wants
him
to
out?
stay home.
He'll be missed.
He wants to stay home. April 13th.
He's sick of flying,
13th,
probably.
we have the private show in Vero Beach. If you're really in that area and you want to come, message me. I should be able to get you into the show. R.C. Smith is phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
We're
If
doing
you've
a
never
little,
seen him, you should.
You
we're
should.
doing a little fundraiser for the local fire out there, and we're just
The
gonna
local fires?
fires,
Right.
and we're gonna
The
do
arsonist.
arsonist.
He's raising money for the arsonist.
And our next flyer is we're doing a public safety announcement here. Our buddies over at Rescue Family Inc., they're having a wonderful charity yard sale. Laughter Saves Lives is going to be involved in some way, walking around.
Absolutely. I know I'm going to be there with my daughter having
I'm
a
gonna
good
be
time.
there.
And I think this is the opening weekend. I think they do it every weekend.
No, they don't do it every weekend. Definitely not.
No?
It's a
I
lot
thought
of
you
work.
mentioned that, that
What happened?
day.
What happened? All right, tell you later. Yeah, that's good.
I thought they do it throughout the
They
summer.
do a few of them, but not every weekend.
Okay.
You
It's
can
a lot
only
of work.
You know what kind of people show up to a garage sale?
Well, they have lines
No,
out
they
the
have.
door.
They
She
have.
says,
Do they?
Awesome.
She has
Awesome.
lines.
Oh, it's not like the typical
No.
degenerates.
No, when you go to their
Caller, hold on one second.
sorry, Tom. When you go to their what she was telling me was when you walk in, they have stations. It's not like you just walk around and start rummaging stuff. If you're looking for clothes,
They're
they have
organized.
clothes. They have antiques. They have collectibles. They have car parts.
Well, but what kind of
Any-
people come there?
I don't know.
They're not like the degenerates that I get at my.
I
All
don't
right,
know.
let's not. Yeah,
Let's not
talk
paint with a
about
broad brush.
Yes, yes. So we're going to be.
Of course, you also have the quality stuff to get quality people.
That's true.
the Hilton
And
Garden
you
Inn.
put those curtains out.
When we go to Florida, Patty and I will be bathing in the pool at the Hilton Garden PGA
There's a
Village.
visual.
They're not swimming. They'll be bathing.
We're going to be bathing.
That's the pool.
He's gonna have his
Look, it's
shower
already
cap-
vacant.
His shower cap and his brush, like
Everybody
Ernie.
already ran. There's
He's
nobody
He's gonna
there.
be rubbing oil on my back.
This is a commercial.
He's
That's
Bacon
what
and
it's going to
turkey.
look like when you guys
Guys,
go there.
they're giving us
Empty.
free rooms. So let me
It's a
finish
great
this.
hotel.
I'm
so you
looking
get-
forward
We're
to
not
it.
making
Beautiful
for the
sunny
hotel, but in
South
front of you.
Florida. It's less than 2 miles away from the Met Spring Training Complex, First Data Field,
Wow,
where the
that looks
single
nice.
A team plays, right?
Single A, St. Lucie Mets.
St.
yes.
Lucie Mets, world-renowned golf course, world-renowned PGA golf course, a short drive from St. Lucie's, 11 miles of pristine beaches. We'll be laying on some of those beaches, Patty, right? The Hilton Garden Inn PGA Village,
Maybe
the
I'll teach you how
perfect
to play
place
golf.
to be this spring. Tom DiDario's on the phone.
Tommy.
He is.
I clap.
Tommy,
Greetings, guys.
before you start talking, let me say,
Well, you'll never get a word in with you.
phenomenal job.
Before you start talking,
Before you start talking, phenomenal job
love
in
John.
Florida. You represented Laughter Saves Lives well. You kicked ass on the shows. You kicked ass off a stage where everybody loved you. You represented us well. Now tell us a few of the funny stories that went on out there, like when I cut you off on a radio station. Start with that one if you want.
How can you not love Tom DiDario?
Right.
Go ahead, Tom. Diss me for the
John,
next
that's-
Same way
segment.
you cut
that
him off
sounds
here, you
exactly
cut him
like
off on the
what you
radio
told
station.
Steve Oliva. You don't think I was listening?
Yes, go ahead, Tom. What was
Yeah,
the
man,
highlight?
It was a fun time. Hey, listen, you cutting me off on the radio, that's just something that we laugh about, and then we just break each other's chops and we move on, you know.
I thought your head was going to explode.
Yeah, it was hilarious because the guy running the show says to me, "So Tom, are you a big sports guy?" And I'm like, "No, you know, not really a big sports guy, but." And as soon as I said, "But," John said, "I like the Mets," and he started talking.
Said he wasn't a sports guy. Said I like the Mets. But he had a whole joke set up that he was
You're
getting
such a
into.
narcissist,
Right.
John. You're such a.
Right.
You
You
always have
really-
to be the center of attention.
I know.
Does the same thing.
Right,
on
he's got to
the
sit in the
show, Tom.
look. You know, he's got to
And
sit
I
in the
just
center
looked at him
chair.
like I did have other things to say, like you know, because you don't like if somebody says to you, "Hey, do you like puppies?" and you're like, "No, I don't really like puppies," but you know, you want to like explain why you don't like puppies. You can't just let a guy say he doesn't like sports,
Right.
really, and then not let him say why he doesn't like sports.
All right,
So
now
it's
that you
like,
got
oh,
that
yeah.
out of your system, talk
See,
about
it's
the
like
talk about the
this. I'm a
guns.
Mets fan and I live in Queens.
Talk
I
about the
long
guns.
walks on the beach. And
He cut you off again, Tom.
Right.
I'm just going to keep talking. I don't care what he says.
Talk about the guns.
Oh, I heard you shot
Hey,
the
look-
machine gun.
Oh, what a blast that was, man. Oh, my God. I was like a child again. It's like, you know, when
And
you're a
tell
little
about my
kid,
macho
you do
shooting,
that kind of
Tommy.
thing.
What
But,
did I shoot?
But no, it was a really great time, man. And I'll tell you, I got to tell you guys, man, when we were on that Air Force base, and John was doing we did like a meet and greet thing. It was a lot of fun to meet a few of the people, and John was like crushing, man. I was in the back with Steve Oliva, and I was like, this is what I gotta. He was like getting all these applause breaks, and
Nice
it
of
was
you to
nice.
say. Nice of you to
Steve
say.
Oliva?
No, John LaRocchia.
Why are you so surprised? It could have been Steve Oliva, by the way.
Why would you say that so surprised? Like Steve
Yeah,
Oliva?
why would you say that?
Yeah,
you gonna
yeah.
think-
Come on, man.
How
What makes you think I sound surprised?
Oh.
We can play back the tapes, you know.
Steve, you can call back in and defend yourself. You like that?
This will be sort of like the Lenny
Steve's a
Dykstra.
great host.
This will be almost like the Lenny Dykstra Ron Darling feud they have on
Steve's a great host.
Tommy, what was one of the other funny things that went on out there? How about the last responder?
Oh, that was fantastic, man. We had to do radio the first morning we were there, which was cool. It was all in the same building. It was like 3 different stations, 3 different, characters, 3 different guys, and then we did a TV segment. But when we did the radio, the first place we went to, it was like immediately assumed that I was also a fireman because you got Steve there, John there. He's wearing the shirt and the left says like. So he says to Steve, "Hey Steve, tell me about the thing. Like, how'd you do?" And Steve told a funny story about burning himself with a Mrs. Smith pie. Because that was like a bad injury.
That was a burn.
Hilarious. In the firehouse, he burned himself with a pie. Like that's how he got injured.
That was his worst burn.
And then John told something, about his house and the way, how it was and the way things were back then. And then he turns to me and he's like, "So Tom, you're also a hero, and I was like, "Oh well, no, nah." And then we started joking around and saying I was a last responder because they were a first responder, so I was the last responder. So the last guy we go to, he's running the whole thing, the whole show, and he writes notes down like when he asked me, "So what did you do?" And I said, "Well, I was the last responder," and I thought he was kind of in on the joke. But then he turns to me and he says, "So Tom, what's it like? Like how what's it like being a last responder? Like, what are your..."
Very seriously. Very seriously.
Really? Like, he was like it was an acting class. He was like, "So what does a last responder do? What are their responsibilities?" And I thought he was actually just a good actor and playing along. So I was like, well, I show up like after the structure is rebuilt again, and it's a building, and then I make sure that they have lattes. And he looked at me like with his eyes crossed. And that was about the time I think he figured it out, John.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Tommy, great trip. He talked me into. I never shot a gun. I never shot a gun. I told you that, right?
Yeah.
I never shot a gun.
Yes.
You've told us all that.
Have you ever shot a gun?
So I go out there, and these guys are going shooting. Our hosts and Tom at this nice, beautiful range. I mean, it was beautiful indoor. I mean, the modern. I mean, awesome.
On the base?
No.
Modern.
No.
So they didn't use muskets? Is that what you're saying?
No. It was brand new, beautiful. Like, I never expected a gun range and store to be like this. It was mint. So they're going in and they're all talking about the guns they're going to shoot. And they're grabbing all these big guns, and they're like, the bullets are going to be $50 for 80 bullets. I'm like, that's expensive, So I look at the guy and I go, "Listen, I never shot a gun. Give me something small. Like, let me start small." So he looked underneath there in a pink box. He goes, "This is my daughter's gun, but she grew out of it." I said, "How old is your daughter?" He goes, 9 years old. And I go, "How much are the bullets?" It was a box of bullets.
Was it a Barbie gun?
Yeah. He goes, "How much is the bullets?" Now, their bullets were $80. He goes, $1.99.
What, for how much?
Yeah, for the whole box.
It was a cap gun.
So
For
Tommy
100 of
said,
them, right?
so I shot the targets. Half the bullets just made an indentation. It didn't go through
Shot blanks.
the paper target. That's how small the gun was. It was a 22. What was it, Tommy?
A 22?
A 22?
It was a small 22. Like
it was an 11.
A small barrel
11. It was
22
as small as an
pistol.
11.
But you know what? So I said to the guy, "You know what? I was feeling pretty macho shooting this gun. I have to admit." I said, "You know what? I think I'm going to use this for self-defense in my house. I'm going to get one." You listen to my story?
I heard it
because the
already.
punchline's coming.
I heard it already.
Oh, so I said to him, "I think I'm going to use this in my house. What do you think?" So the guy says, "Well, if a mouse breaks into your house, this gun may slow him down." That's how small the gun was. And I used it on stage. The joke worked, right?
The other gun, though, right?
Yes.
John?
Yes, but you know what was scary? When I said on stage, I never shot a gun before, and I shot one here yesterday, I almost got an applause break.
Why
Yeah,
did
you
They
almost
were
had
going
standing
crazy because the
ovation.
gun
Definitely
people out
gave you
there.
the applause.
Ohio? Sure.
Oh, man. Tommy, the military base, anything else you want to talk about before we let you go?
No, not really, man. It was a thrill meeting the colonel and being able to do that shit, man. If anybody can do it as a civilian, I mean, it's worth it. To go in, if there's a place you can do a tour, I mean, anybody can do it. I think it's worth it. It was just a great experience.
Yeah, and like I said, Tommy, you did a great job.
Thank you, John. So did you, man. It was good.
All right, we're gonna let you go. We're gonna let you go. Thank you for taking the time to call in. I know you're a busy man.
Take care,
Yep.
Tom.
Be well, guys.
All right, take
All
care.
right, take care.
Good to talk to you. Later.
Established in 2003, MCM duct cleaning. The commercial should be done soon. Is the end result of many years of research, continuing education, and determination. With a background in HVAC systems, and working for an HVAC company for over 13 years, Matty Nichols realized the need to provide better, cleaner, and safer environment, not only for his own family, but families in the community. And Matty is big in the community. Was he at the show the other night in Greenlawn? Was Matty there? Matt Nichols?
No.
Okay, he usually is. They're both in Suffolk and Nassau. If you need your HVAC clean, call Matty, 631-885-5736, 631-885-5736. Before we do Life Fact, Frankie, what do
We
you
have a
think?
special guest on the line.
Who do we got?
And he says, bet the Met guy shoots
Yes.
flanks.
Yeah,
Sorry, Franchabene.
Cesar
I don't know who it is.
Franco Bene. Cesar Franco Bene.
He said the coach took his coat off. Somebody got another fan.
Right.
Coach?
Cesar Franchabene. You know
Yeah,
who
do
it
your
is?
segment, Frank.
I don't know. So,
What do you want to talk about here?
Franchabene.
well, listen, you know, in light of
Cesar.
the other day with that young woman being killed by getting into the wrong Uber or getting into a car thinking that it was
An
Uber.
Right.
You know, people have to learn that, and I'm not victim blaming here, so please don't take this the wrong way, but if we can learn something from it.
Well, you're a cop. You
and-
probably are a victim.
No, I'm not. I'm not victim blaming because I've seen many people that didn't deserve to get hurt that did because they don't pay attention. Just 1 or 2 seconds extra of a little attention. So I want to talk about little Uber safety or Lyft safety or getting into somebody's car safety, whatever you want to call it.
Can I just ask you one quick question? Did this guy act as an Uber driver to entice her, or was it just a mistake that she thought he was an Uber driver, or we don't know that?
I'm not sure. My understanding, and I could be wrong, was that she wasn't paying attention. She got into the wrong car.
Okay.
Thinking that it was
Okay.
the Uber.
Right.
But either way,
And
you
just
know.
happened to get in with a cycle.
Well,
killer
listen,
in
you know, like I said, I don't know
Yeah.
all the.
No, but that's what it sounds like.
But,
It sounds like that's all it was.
But you know, there's plenty of ways people can lure you in and do stuff. So the first thing I want to say about safety is to pay attention. You know, get your head out of your phone, know where you are, and know your surroundings. That's not just for Uber. That's for everything. The next thing is when the car pulls up, ask them who they're picking up. They'll have your name.
Oh, right.
If they don't have your name or they give you something else, don't get in the car.
Right.
All right, and then don't get into any Uber or Lyft car without checking the car make, model, color, and license plate. You get all of that on the app. You know, the app tries to provide for safety.
Right.
And just because there's an Uber or Lyft sticker on there, don't just assume that
Right,
the
anybody
car's
can put a
legitimate.
sticker,
You know what I mean?
right.
It doesn't make it
You gotta
legit.
know the code word, and the code word
Well,
is who you are, right? Who you're picking up.
and just use the app. Don't get into the car if the driver is not the same person that's in the picture. You know, if they give you some story, oh, I'm driving with my friend tonight. Don't get in the car. It's a scam. It's a scam. Don't get in there. And then this is something I did not know. You can share the details of your trip with a friend. So when you're in the car, you go to the app and you can share everything with a friend. You text it to them, and they don't have to have the app to follow you.
I don't like
they'll,
these things.
They'll know. Your friend will know where you are and your ETA and stuff like that.
And
so,
I would let the driver know that. Like if you get in the car, you go.
No, then they'll throw your phone away. They'll kill you and throw your phone away.
Listen,
no,
I'm
I'm saying
not
I
trying to make it
shared
sound
it.
like every Uber person is a murderer.
No,
but
most of them are
assume
not.
they
these are
are.
just things to do to ensure
No,
safety.
good points. Good points.
And-
They have
uh,
to have a picture of themselves like the kids
Yes.
do.
Yeah. When you
on the app.
when you order your car, it comes up with the type of car,
Yeah.
the license plate number, your driver's name, and his picture.
Have you ever done an Uber or Lyft before?
I did it like 3 years ago with my company. We had to use the Uber, but I like a yellow cab with a
Yeah, but you know what?
with
Again,
a foreign
that
driver.
doesn't
that-
ensure your safety either.
I know, but they've been around for 1,000 years. This is new.
Cabs are cabs. You know,
Yeah.
and this safety is just think about this for everything. Don't get in there if there's anyone else in the car. If you ordered an Uber,
Right.
he should not be, or she. And we're saying he. There's also
Right.
female drivers.
Right.
There should be nobody else in the car. If there is, you're not ride sharing. Just don't do it.
Right.
And then most of all, use your common sense. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. So, you know,
Good points,
don't
Frankie.
take your safety lightly.
Good points.
And that
Good
whole,
points.
you know, everybody does that. Oh, it can't happen to me. It can't happen to me. And unfortunately, it does.
Let's go to Life Fact, and we'll be back.
Please listen. This is a LifeVac. It's easy to use and can save a life in an airway emergency. LifeVac is proven to save lives, and it's as simple as place, push, pull. I've had one in my kitchen and one in my car for years, and you should have one in yours. Choking is a leading cause of death. 5,000 people a year die from choking, 1 child every 5 days, and it can happen in just 4 minutes. There's no time to wait. If you have children in your home, please consider your LifeVac today.
All right, and we're back. Obviously we were very excited about being on Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and there's a lot of history in that base. We have Katie calling in a second. Katie, can you hold on 1 second, Katie?
She is.
All right. John has some facts about Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
I do.
So tell the people a little bit about the base we were on there. What do you got?
So Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is the headquarters of the Air Force Material Command. So they supply all of the materials like parts, aircraft parts, supplies for the entire United States Air Force.
Wow.
So it's a very important base, very big base. Air Force One pilots do their practice landings there when they're training to fly Air Force One. Not with the president on board, but they fly there. So, and it's also the home of Air Mobility Command, has a very large operation there. You guys saw a C-17 taking off? All right, so C-17s are the backbone of the Air Force.
We actually saw the
airlift
pilot who flies the plane that brings Trump's stuff, his limo.
The cargo aircraft,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So those C-17s are very versatile. I've been in a few of them, and my cousin's in the Air Force, and he's a medical doctor, and he basically is, been in the C-17s in the medevac configuration. So you and I are EMTs. It's like all the CMT equipment is just all throughout the aircraft. So you could do part of the aircraft EMT or the whole aircraft EMT. There's
So
a
what
lot of
else do they
different
do
ways
on the
configure it.
base?
They bring tanks. Yeah, it's either flying hospital or they'll have like ones where they can bring tanks and they can quickly convert them to either configuration.
A lot of room.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Helicopters they can fit on some of those
they
planes.
put the Marine One helicopters on board, the Blackhawks, when they use the Blackhawks. It's just an incredible machine. And they're very maneuverable. I saw one at the Oshkosh Air Show, and it came in like sideways.
And the history of the base?
So the base was formed in 1917. It was named after Wilbur Wright, because it's in Dayton, Ohio, where the Wright brothers were from, where they had their bicycle shop.
And they landed on that base, or took off and landed on that base.
Correct.
And what was kind of funny is when we passed the field, it was just like an open field, and Steve said, they could be just telling us any field. Like, the Wright brothers landed on this field.
It's Patterson Field and Wright Field. They combined them into one. And it's also the home of the Air Force Museum. So all of the Air Force,
we didn't get there.
I told you to go.
I'm waiting for you.
So when I go with you, you're gonna love the Air Force Museum. They have every Air Force aircraft from the first ones in 1910, which were observations, all the way up to, I think they have an SR-71 there, and they have a lot of airplanes.
Give me one or two more facts about the base before we put Katie on.
Caesar made a comment. I'm sorry, before Katie gets on. Met guy looks like he cleans jock straps for the Mets.
What the heck is? Who is this guy?
Who is this guy?
Caesar Frankenberry.
Hey, he's a Yankee.
Who is he? Frankenberry.
The friend of mine.
All right. And one more. Want to do one more before we bring Katie on? We got Katie on hold here.
Yeah. So I mentioned it was the headquarters of the Air Force Material Command.
Yes.
So that's a very important command for the Air Force, because think about how many parts. There are thousands of Air Force airplanes and personnel, and the mechanics do a great job of maintaining all those Air Force aircraft, because sometimes they don't have all the parts they need and they have to cannibalize one plane as a parts plane. And these guys, you can't, whether it's the Air Force or the Navy, Marines, they really do a great job of working with what they have, which is a shame, because they really should have everything they need.
And we talked about this. I don't think people realize how much support's there. Everybody doesn't grab a gun and go into battle, so to speak.
No, the Air Force,
there's so much support's there.
For every pilot, there's hundreds of support people for the aircraft, for the systems, because the Air Force isn't just flying aircraft. They operate Air Force Cyber Command, so they keep the nation threat from cyber threats.
Somebody from your tour.
They handle satellites. They handle the Air Force handles 2/3 of America's strategic nuclear arsenal.
The Air Force is wonderful.
They have the bombers and they have the ICBMs. The Navy handles.
All right, let's bring Katie on. Katie and Adam. I met Katie at the show. Adam is her husband. He's in the military. Katie, you'll tell me actually what he does and what his rank is and all of that stuff. But as I said to Katie when I met this wonderful couple, wonderful young couple, thank you for your service. Men having women like this behind them when they're going away for months at a time.
Yes.
She's phenomenal, and she always gets a job on the base. She'll tell us what she does on this base now, but she said to me, John, I can't wait to move to the next base. Like, she has that, she does a great job. So, Katie, welcome.
Hi, John. How are you?
Good. Is Adam with you?
I'm right here.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Oh, they're right. Right on cue.
Fantastic.
So let's start with Adam for a second, if you don't mind, Katie. Adam, tell us what you do in the Air Force.
So I am an ops research analyst, and so what that is, it is that behind-the-scenes personnel that you were talking about. You know, we have all these pilots, but there's hundreds of people supporting those pilots. So the main thing that an ops analyst does is really supports decision-making. So kind of does the background work for leadership to make better informed decisions based on, you know, previous data, previous trends, and even creates new policy or looks at new policy in order for them to make better decisions. So it's kind of an all-encompassing career field, but very unique, and a very small sect of personnel in the Air Force actually do that specific job.
What tools do you use to do that? Do you use visualization tools like Tableau?
Don't get too deep.
Absolutely. So we'll use visualization tools like Tableau, some of the analytical tools like Jump and do some data visualization there, MATLAB. I mean, there's a ton of softwares and also computer programming softwares that are utilized in languages in order to do that. But, you know, the big part as an analyst is you take that kind of craziness and that heavy technical work and kind of dumb it down to communicate your findings to leadership in order for them to make a better decision.
John is kind of in that field.
There's a trick and a science to it as well.
Yeah.
John is in that field a little bit. That's why he threw out that fancy term. I was going to say, do you use Etch-a-Sketch?
No.
Any Etch-a-Sketch?
I'm a Tableau and Alteryx consultant. I do data. I'm a data scientist, data visual analyst.
Now let's talk to your lovely, beautiful wife there, Katie. Smart.
Absolutely.
Smart girl, smart lady. Katie, tell us a little bit about what you do on the base.
Okay, so it's a little confusing because I actually just switched roles. So what I was doing before was helping out with events like the one you guys just had on our base. So basically, if I wouldn't have been gone out of town, I would have been there with you guys on the tour, showing you around, and then in charge of that event. And I also did social media. I was the publicist. But recently, I switched over to a new role. Each Air Force base around the country is getting this new program called Unite. And basically, I will be working with commanders and squadrons, helping them come up with team building programs and activities, basically to strengthen their unit cohesion.
That's
so it's
awesome.
a very new program that I'm going to be building up at Wright Pat. So it's
You know,
a really cool opportunity.
That is awesome, because I'm sure years ago when my dad was in the military or whatever, there was none of those type of events to bring these guys together. It was like, go out there, here's your gun, here's your training. So that's really very helpful. What do you think, Frank?
Is Adam are they civilians or are they active duty?
Katie's a civilian, right, Katie?
Yeah, so I'm a civilian, and this program is going to be for active duty and civilians as well.
And Adam, what's your grade in the Air Force?
So I am a captain.
And do you use Tableau?
He said
I use Tableau to
I'm
do that.
trying. It's yeah. I'm kidding. Pat, you have any questions for this?
I know. When do you ever?
The only thing I know about is paper airplanes. I really don't have nothing to say.
Adam, I used to work for Aviation Week and Space Technology for 12 years before I got into Tableau.
Okay.
So that's how I know so much about the Air Force. And
so about data analytics, all of a sudden just asking, just throwing out a term like, oh wow, there's somebody that I know something. All right.
There's just one of us.
Right.
How about the show? Let's talk about the Laughter Saves Lives show, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. How was the show?
Oh, it was fantastic. So I was going to say the best, I think the kudos out to Steve for taking a completely quiet room and warming us up.
And making it quieter?
One for you, Steve. I don't care what Santos
take our hats
says.
off to Steve. But no, it was fantastic. I just really thank you guys for coming out and I guess really just getting full belly laughs.
Yeah, we were crying and our faces hurt.
Yeah, Adam, I don't know if you know this, but Katie says we could come back. Did she inform anybody of that?
Does she have the authority to do that?
Yes, I do. I have the authority because right now I'm in that position. But no, we definitely want you back. We've been talking about it a lot this week already.
All right.
So you guys just let us know when you want to come back, and we can figure it out. But
We got to go
love
back. I
have
want to
you
go
back.
to this Air Force Museum.
No.
Yeah.
We're gonna
I've
be
never been
back.
to
Yeah,
Ohio.
you guys did miss the Air Force Museum. That's huge. That you could be there for a couple days going through all that. And you
Well, we'll leave them there the next time, and then we'll go and have fun.
Sounds good. Well, Katie, we'll be in touch because Katie may be helping us with Laughter Saves Lives a little bit. She has a talent with sponsorship and stuff, so I'll be in touch. But guys, thanks for taking the time to call in tonight.
And thank you for your service.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you for your service. Yes.
Thanks for your service.
Both of you. Good night, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
After the show, there was some karaoke down there. So I start singing karaoke, and these two ladies start dancing with me, right? So I'm dancing with them, whatever. Somebody comes over and says, you know, that's Colonel such and such's wife. And
Oh, that's
so,
funny.
yeah, it was
You must
funny.
look like Wally Sparks when you were dancing.
I was cranking it out.
So
Singing
they're
Twisted
thinking about
Shout.
having another show? That would be great if we can go back there.
I told you we're
Yeah.
going to definitely go back.
That's
I
awesome.
want you guys to experience it because I felt bad. I really did. Do we have another caller on the line?
He wants you to fly the plane.
Patty? Okay.
So what else did you see?
Oh, wait, you know what? We did a question a few weeks ago. How long has the curse been over? And we were supposed to give the second half of the question.
What curse?
How? Well, that's what it was.
The curse
Oh,
of the
it's so
Bambino.
long, I forgot.
Well, I'm going to read the whole question out
Curse
this
of the-
way.
Yeah, read the whole question.
For the fifth person.
This game show
For
is
the
like the
fifth,
longest game
it is.
show that never ended.
For the fifth person who Facebook messages into the answer to this question, how long has the curse been over the castle and the Beauty and the Beast?
The what?
Beauty and the Beast. It's a whole Disney. They
Not
got
the curse of the
it's a
Bambino.
Disney thing.
no.
But when are we going to get somebody to win? I want to see a winner.
We're gonna have them come in when they win. Not this is just this
Are they
is
ever going to be a winner?
this isn't the winner. They're in it to win it. We got Andy, Chief, Andy Hefner. Well, Lima, Ohio.
Is it Lima or
I-
Lima?
No, this is a big deal out there now.
Lima.
Lima
This
is
is a
Peru.
big deal to them.
Peru.
All right, hold on.
The capital.
They're very sensitive about this.
All right.
And if you know, Trump was out there the week before us,
Right.
and his people were saying Lima instead of Lima.
Instead of Lima, that's terrible. That's so stupid.
It was a problem. So
He
we
lost a
went,
lot of votes there.
we went out there. We made sure.
He's got to win Ohio to win
Sure.
the election.
Now,
And when he said Kofefe, he had it after that. He lost.
Kofefe.
Chief is on the phone.
also, Chief is on the phone. Also, the only tanks, Sherman tanks, what is it, Sherman? Are made in Lima.
Right, there's
Lima.
only one
Lima.
tank factory.
Lima, yes, Chief. Let's bring the Chief on the phone.
Lima.
Hello,
Lima.
Chief Andy Hefner. How are you?
Are we going to do this Lima,
No,
Lima
sir.
thing again?
Not again. I apologize.
We're on board now. We got it. We understand.
John's like a child. It'll go for on and on and on until the next
Before,
show down there.
before we get into it, I was telling these guys that when we were sitting at the restaurant after the show, you're the only person in my life that I have ever had a conversation with that wasn't mad at me, but I thought I was still going to get punched in the face.
Is it my aggressive nature? Sometimes I can be a little overly aggressive.
Oh, just a little bit, Chief. Just a little bit. I thought you were going to punch me in the face just like as a punctuation, like, yeah, John, that point is over. Let's move forward.
Why would I ever do that? You were a fantastic guy. We thank you for coming into Lima. You brought Laughter Saves Lives. You're helping us out with our 9/11 memorial. You're doing fantastic things. So, no, I would never think of swinging at you.
Oh, well, thank God. Now, and your wife was so sweet. She's sitting there just smiling like she's been there in this situation with you many times.
As I said, sometimes I can be overly aggressive, but it's always in a good way.
No, it was a good way. We loved you. Tell us a little bit about the 9/11 Memorial and also about that other charity that we spoke about that we're going to do the next show for.
Well, the 9/11, the Chief Truesdale out at Shawnee, who you met, and you've dealt with him quite a few times, the reason he wants to set this up isn't so much for us, but it's for posterity's sake. So kids that are coming along, I mean, kids that are born, they're 17 years old, didn't know it, they weren't there when it happened. So they may not remember it. So he's doing it as to make sure that this doesn't get forgotten by the next generation going on.
And you know what, Chief? When I was on a radio show and I asked them, I said, guys, I don't mean to be, sound stupid, but why are you building
natural.
here it is. Why are you building a 9/11 memorial? Did you have a bunch of people that were lost in the towers, in the planes, and they looked at me very, very seriously, and they said, "We're very patriotic."
We are all brothers, and one firefighter dies in Sacramento. I feel it in Lime, Ohio. A firefighter dies in New York City or Chicago. I feel it in Lime, Ohio. Fire doesn't care. It doesn't care what state you're in. It can take lives, and it does. And the tragedy of that day, I sat there on the couch, and me and my wife cried. So it wasn't just you guys that were feeling it. Everybody that's ever put a helmet on and put on a tank and put out a house fire, they felt it that day. That's the reason we're doing it.
And it's wonderful. Tell us a little bit about this other charity that you guys support locally.
We got 4 that are main charities, but the one you're speaking of is Rally Point.
That's it.
And the reason that's so close to me is because I was raised from birth till 12 without a father. And then there's an incredible man who married my mother, and I was pretty wayward, and he said, "You're not going to run the streets like this." And he put the fear of God into me, so I know the difference when you have a child that doesn't have a role model, a male role model in their lives, and one who does. So what they do at Rally Point is they give a place for kids that are at risk. You have a bunch of at-risk kids, not a lot of guidance, not a lot of direction. They have a safe place to go. They have mentoring. They have tutoring. They even get some religion. It's just a wonderful place for these kids to go, and they know that they're going to be safe. And the adults that are in that room, the adults that are in that building, never will harm these kids. These kids know they're safe, and I just think it's something we need with a lot of kids not having any direction today.
Awesome. So when we come back, excuse me, when we come back, we'll do the show for both. We'll do the show for Rally Point and for the 9/11 Memorial. Is that the plan?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, that's what I'm looking at. We're going to have to, clear the deck and make sure we can get everything squared away. But I'd love to do that, and I'd love to have you back. You guys did a phenomenal job. You were by far the funniest guy. If you'd eliminate me, Steve, Tom, and the guy that was wearing the flag jacket, that would make you the funniest guy there. So I definitely want you back.
Chief, we'll have it. What are you laughing about?
He threw a nice punch in.
Did I stymie on that one, Johnny?
He's a little slow.
A little slow. And you, what did you think of our brother Steve Oliva there?
Fantastic. He was wonderful. I'll tell you what, though, I think he was given a hard task coming on before and then in the middle of you guys, because you guys killed it, and you know how it is when you come on when a comic has just ripped it. It is difficult because you're really at a chance of flopping, so he did a phenomenal job.
Wait, Steve was the host?
Steve MC'd.
He MC'd. Yeah.
Yeah.
He thinks you meant Tom.
Give us some. We want Lima Bean. We want to move to Lima, Ohio. Why would I want to move to Lima, Ohio, Chief?
I was hoping you would ask that, John, as I stand on my back deck and look at about 500 acres of farmland, low taxes, freedom. I've been able to sit on a fireman's wage, 3 kids to college, 2 engineers, 1 in the medical field. I just think Ohio is a fantastic place to be where you can stretch a dollar.
More astronauts come from Ohio than any other state.
That's right. You gave me some key.
I missed that. Say that again, please.
More of all the astronauts, American astronauts, Ohio has the most.
Did you know that, Chief?
I apologize. I apologize, John. I don't mean to slow your show down. I was breaking up. That's one thing we don't have out here in God's country is good cell service.
Out of all the astronauts in the American space program, more of them come from Ohio than any other state.
Yes, no, I understand. Yeah, Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. John Glenn, of course, first guy from the United States to circle the moon. We're obviously very proud of that heritage. You got the Wright brothers. Edison's from here. We're big in the aerospace industry. Obviously, it's Wright Pat. The jet engines are made down in Cincinnati. So, yeah, we're really, really proud. And Ohio is one of the biggest industrial bases in the entire country, which means in the entire world.
You should really work for like the tourism bureau because he's so. I sat with him for a half hour. So passionate, and I love that. He's so proud of his state and the place that he lives.
And now you guys got a good football team.
Right, now your football team's on the way back.
Beckham and, well, you guys got a good football team, so you got a lot to cheer for.
Well, Cleveland you're speaking of, correct?
Yes.
Because it's been far too long that Ohio State Buckeyes has been our only professional team in the state of Ohio.
And football was invented in Ohio.
Cleveland, huh?
Yeah, Cleveland should rock it this year. I think they're going to have a real good shot at winning the North.
Where was football invented? It was invented near Dayton, right?
Say in Dayton?
Where was football invented? Where in Ohio?
Canton?
It was Canton. It was in Canton.
Canton.
Well, that's where the Hall of Fame is.
Right.
Since you don't have a pro football team, you root for the Bengals or you root for the Cleveland Browns?
I root for the Bengals, and you can tell by the way I said it.
You know what? You said that the same way us Jets fans say that we root for the Jets.
we feel your pain.
How far is Canton from Wright Pat? How far is a Football Hall of Fame from?
I don't know.
We are 120 miles from Cincinnati, 120 miles from Detroit, and 150 miles from Cleveland.
Now, we talked about I want to go see
Centrally
Mets Reds this year. You said you'd join me in Cincinnati, right?
I would absolutely join you in Cincinnati.
All right. So I'm going to look at that schedule again. I got it on my calendar.
I'm going to root for the Mets if we go.
No, we have to root for the Mets. He knows that. He knows that. Well,
I told you, I saw Glenn in Chicago. I saw Glamon's 300th win.
When he was with the Mets.
Wow.
He got that with the Mets.
So I spoke, and I was rooting for the Mets because I hate the Cubs. So I was rooting for the Mets, just to let you know.
Well, Chief, thanks for taking the time to call in. I really enjoyed meeting you guys out there. I have to say that the people of, I have to remember to say Lima Bean, Lima were wonderful people. They took care of us. They were friendly. And I can't wait to come back with these guys and show them what I experienced.
Well, can I just ask a question?
Yes.
Because they said that they're very big into the Second Amendment there, and they apparently love their sports. If I wear a Met hat there, am I going to get killed?
Chief, would John get shot if he wore his Met hat?
No.
No.
Oh, okay, good.
But that doesn't preclude you from getting beat.
This is not Philadelphia.
They're good
All
people.
right, Philadelphia. Yeah.
We want everybody to feel comfortable and safe in Ohio.
Well, thanks, Chief.
I might move there.
I know.
I'm sick of New York.
Sounds like it's nice there.
It's nice there.
Very nice. Thanks,
Well,
Chief.
you know what? Here's one thing.
The low
guys,
taxes
the
is
reason
a turn-on.
Iowans are the way we are, and so pack mentality. This is probably very much similar to you guys in New York. You get 6 months of winter. It can be minus 17 in the winter, 100 degrees in summer. It's a hard existence with our weather. So I think we kind of get that tribal mentality in Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good people.
117 in Ohio?
Good people. All right, Chief, we're going to let you go. Thank you so much for calling in, and we'll be in touch.
All right, brother. Thank you very much for coming to Lima, and I can't wait to see you guys again.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Take care, Chief.
Who's this guy Caesar? Why don't you go back on the planet of
Caesar's
the
a-
apes where you belong?
Caesar's
Would you
a good
leave
friend of
Caesar
mine.
alone?
That's
Leave
Caesar
Caesar.
Francopani. He's
You're
from
waking
the
my balls. Go back on the planet of the
He's from the
apes.
neighborhood. He's a paisano
Excuse
of
me.
mine.
Excuse me.
He's from the Bronx.
Wasn't
Excuse me.
Caesar the ape that could
Hold
talk?
on 1 second. Has Caesar made any quality comments that we can read
Yes,
out loud?
he has.
Give me one or two
He's been
things Caesar
breaking my
said.
balls.
That's all right. It's all right. What does
He
Caesar
said
say?
about
It's our
he
viewers.
said about Santa. He said you still look like a bag of Manigot.
Nice. It's nice. It's funny.
Can you leave now?
What?
My son loves the Mets. Oh, just kidding, Goomba.
All right.
And then John gave a good comeback. Go take Jared home.
He's not going. Caesar,
John's
thanks.
not on roast.
Hey, listen. Caesar.
That's why we don't take it with us very often.
Caesar, thank you for watching and making your comments.
Can't
We
Yeah, I
believe
think he
appreciate
said this
it.
was his first time watching.
We appreciate it.
Is that the
Caesar.
end of the show?
I think he's related to Muriel.
And Caesar, if you have an
Oh,
interesting
Muriel.
Caesar, if you have an interesting profession, you're locally, maybe we can have you on the show as a guest. What does Caesar do for a living?
I think
He's a
I don't
ball
know.
breaker.
We don't
He used
talk
to be. He
about
used to be a street guy. I only knew him around the neighborhood.
A
you know?
street guy.
He used to be a bookmaker. Yeah,
A what?
he was a bookmaker.
You could get arrested for that now.
Well,
we
Now
outed
you
him.
tell me he's a freaking
We outed him.
bookmaker?
Years ago, he was a bookmaker. He's done. He's retired.
Frank, any shows this week?
No. Oh, yes, I do. I'm sorry. I have a show tomorrow night.
What do you got?
At the Irish Pub in
Enjoy?
in Baldwin, and then I have a show. I have 2 shows on Sunday. One is with you, John Butera show.
I'm on a show Sunday?
Yes,
Is that
you
the
are.
Huskin cocktail?
And then I'm doing a show at South Nassau. Well, not at the hospital, but with South
In the
Nassau
emergency
Hospital for the veterans. They have a
Nice.
a show.
I've been trying to do something with them. All right, nice.
They're having a show.
Who runs that?
Get it out, Frankie.
The guy's name is.
Say it.
No, is anybody we know? That's what
Laughter Saves Lives going to Connecticut on Friday night. Allegra Barnett, Joe Pontillo, Fat Jay, and John LaRocchia.
nice show.
Vernon Fire Department. Has anybody done that show for me yet, Vernon? John?
I did Vernon a couple years ago.
Couple of years. Did you do it, Patty?
Great show.
So we'll be there Friday
construction
night.
guy. He wasn't
We'll be there Friday
Are we in
night.
a show together on Saturday, the Huskin Vine?
Jeez, I don't think so.
I think we are.
I don't. Am I? I don't,
What show?
You better
I don't know
check.
if I'm on Friday with Butera's show. I got to look at this.
Not Friday, Sunday.
Sunday, I mean.
What show did you ask me if I ever did?
Vernon, Connecticut. So we'll be in Vernon on Friday. Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching.
I'll
be at the Huskin Vine on Saturday. I think you are too. You better check.
We'll see you next week. We're going to the Massapequa Diner. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. I think you are. I think we're on that show.
Picture.
Old leather gloves,
Put the waters down.
we're slapping in hands. Popcorn and peanuts, we're working the stands. Pink cotton candy, love on a stick. Was chasing the beer that circle the lips. Play ball, play ball. Roll up the bases and smack it right over the wall. Play ball, play ball. Take off the caps, time for the song.